Hi, Kat Chatzler with Stamp Art Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I want to show you a quick project that you can do after your Halloween projects are done and you have some of this black paper still sitting around in your craft room. Well, you can turn this into a Christmas project and some Christmas cards with simply using some real red paper and some Very Vanilla. And the project I'm going to demonstrate today is just simply this gorgeous card or this gorgeous bag. You could turn this into a card, but look at this. It's elegant, it's striking, it has embossed gold, joy to the world, a nice little cute little bag. And I'm going to do a real quick project because I've already showed you how to use your gift bag punch board, so it should go pretty quickly. You're also going to use this stamp set, which I just think is fantastic. I mean, I just love the joy sentiment around the holidays. So look out, because I'm going to do some other cards playing around with this. I also found in some of the other stamps that are featured in the holiday catalog, I also found, I mean, look at this sentiment, be joyful. Isn't that just gorgeous? And this is in the Merriest Wishes stamp set, and it does come in a bundle. I'm also going to be doing some cards using this. I have some neat ideas. But again, I love that joyful sentiment for the holidays. And then the tin of tags. Now this is a stamp set that you need if you buy the tin of tags project that's in the holiday catalog. But look at the versatility with this stamp set, and this is why I like this project, because right here I just love this joy to the world, and that's what we're going to use on our little bag, on our tag. So you know, there's some great ideas and some great sentiments that are kind of little hidden treasures in some of these stamp sets. So, having said that, you're simply going to need 12 by 12 real red cardstock that you're going to cut in half, so you get two pieces. So, if you can imagine, this is 20 sheets. So, you could get 40 little bags out of this pack of paper if you were going to do something for either a project or a group, and that's really kind of a good deal. Then all you're really going to need is some Memento black ink, right, in this stamp set, because we're going to stamp the pattern on our bags. You're going to need the gift bag punch board, and I chose this baker's twine, which is the kind of neat gold baker's twine. It's kind of glitzy for Christmas. But you also have some other options. You have this gold baker's twine that comes in that set. It's in the holiday catalog, and you have black. I'm not sure how I'm going to play with this, but I just kind of put it out there on my desk as kind of a possibility as I put this bag together. I actually did this bag as a demonstration during a vendor's fair yesterday for Flee Across Florida, and I was just it was just like one of those hey on the fly kind of things. And I just thought it was so cute. I really wanted to share it with you. Okay, so get some gold embossing folder and your embossing gun, and 2.5 and a 2-inch circle. I'm going to use these punches, but you can always use your layering circle dies. And I guess that's really about it that you need. So let's get started. Okay, so I have my paper and my punch board. As you recall, we go ahead and we look at our punch board here, and if we're using a 12-inch, it can be a large, so that's the size that we're going to be punching. So I'm going to set my punch board here. I'm going to pull out my embossing tool, and I'm going to take off my glasses because I see better with my glasses off when I'm doing close work. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line up this piece right here with our start line. I just want to make sure that I adjust my, there we go. I just want to adjust it so you can see it. Okay, line it up with my start line. Okay, and hold it. I'm going to push straight down. And I'm going to do my first gusset. Go down my Y here, all the way down, and go down to do this side of my gusset. There you go. And I'm also going to hold it right here so that I can go across. All right, so this is my first gusset. First side of my bag right here. So now I'm going to slide this down and I am going to line up this last score line with this start line right here. I'm going to punch and I'm going to score across to my L, to my large, because this is going to be the first front side of my bag. Then I'm simply going to slide it down to that score line. I'm going to hold it at the start line. I'm going to punch. Okay, so now this is going to be my second gusset. So I'm going to do my Y and straight down. I'm going to do my side. And then I'm going to do a cross. All right. So now I'm going to line it up with this second. I have 1, 2, 3 lines of my gusset. So I'm going to stop at the start line. I'm going to put that last score line on my start line because this is the end of my gusset and I have to punch this tab, the other side of this tab. And I'm going to score across to my L. And I'm going to go down. And this is the back of my bag. But I'm not done because the back of my bag is going to have just a solid piece unless I take this score line and I slide it all the way down to the start line, holding it carefully. I'm going to punch, and there you go. I have all my pieces, okay? So now, someone asked me, which way do you fold these? Okay, so I just want you to know that I did 2 years in architecture school as an undergraduate before I changed my mind and went into urban and regional planning, and then I changed my mind and went into remote sensing, and then I finally joined the Navy. So I've had a very vast and foolish youth. So when asked, which way do you fold this? I will tell you that you want to fold it where you've scored it because you have made room for that bend. So it's easiest to score it to score it up from your scoreboard, okay? But before we score it, since I've just kind of explained that this is the upside, right? If I fold all these up, then this is going to be the inside. So our outside is going to be this piece right here, and the bottom is going to be these flaps right here. So what I want to do now is I want to take my Joy and my Memento ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my pattern on my paper. But before I do that, I do recommend that you use a stamping piercing mat and you protect it with a piece of the Stamp Art Connection or the Stampin' Up paper, because this is a photopolymer stamp and you're going to need just that extra, I say cush, but what it is, it's simply, it provides you the foam that you need, that you really don't get with a photopolymer stamp, that you do get with a rubber stamp. Okay, so I'm going to, if this is going to be either my front or my back, I want to pick how I want my joy to go. So I'm going to put joy, and then I'm going to go ahead and begin to offset this, okay, because I'm going to do it kind of offset now. And I'm just stamping it. I don't like that I kind of messed up here. So I'm just going to have to live with that for now, but I do want you to make sure that you're getting total coverage, because this is a very big stamp, okay? Again, I'm going to go ahead and put, this is my front of my stamp, so I want to make sure I get full coverage, full ink on my stamp. I'm going to kind of offset it. Make sure I get it all covered. I'm using my paper so I don't get ink on my stamping piercing mat, but I think I failed miserably. I got some on there anyway, but that's okay. Okay, so I do have a little bit of a funky joy there. So since this is photopolymer, I'm going to take a risk, and I'm just going to lay this over, because what I did is I stamped off all the ink that I could. I just inked up this little corner of the Y. So let's see if I can line this puppy up. I'm going to line it up right here, because this is the front of my bag, or the back of my bag. Doesn't matter. I just want to make sure I get that done. I'm very carefully. Not bad. Look at that. I did pretty good. So basically I had a faint Y, and I overstamped it, but I made sure that I cleared all my ink off the rest of my stamp, and I just stamped that little corner. So that's not bad. So I'm going to clean my stamp. Hold on, let me get this paper out of the way. I'm going to need it, so I don't want it to go too far. Okay, so my stamp's clean. Now I'm going to take this itty bitty little star. Isn't that beautiful? This beautiful little star. And let me put it in the middle of my block. There, you can see it. Okay, so now, again, I'm going to use my Memento ink. But now I'm going to put that star right in the middle of my joy. Joy. No matter where that O ends up, I'm going to put it there. Okay, making sure that I'm using my stamping piercing mat and a piece of this Stampin' Up paper, this grid paper. Let me tell you, this grid paper is really a good value. I went a whole year using this grid paper, a whole pack, 100 sheets. Okay, so there you go. You see the joy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp stars in between. Okay, so I stamped a star in the middle of each one of my joys here. Now I'm going to stamp a star between my joys. And I'm basically making up my own designer series paper. right? So there you go. So I've done my stars. I've got my joy. In some cases I got two stars, but hey, that's a gusset. It's not really that big of a deal. Let me spray my stamping. Let me spray my stamping scrubber. Let me just show you. I'm spraying my stamping scrubber here. Okay, and I'm cleaning my stamps so that I have a clean stamp. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to close my memento and I'm going to get my tear tape because we're going to go ahead and put this together. But before I put it together, what I want to do is I want to take my 1 2 inch punches, and I'm going to take my black, and I'm going to take my 2.5. I think I said 1 2 inch. I meant 1.5 and 2 inch. I'm going to cut that out of the 2.5 inch is what I do my black, and then I'm going to take my very vanilla. I'm going to put my 2 inch aside, and or my 2.5 inch aside. I'm sorry. Now I'm going to take my 2 inch. I was having trouble punching with my 2 inch punch. It was not punching the paper at all. So what I had to do is I had to get a piece of aluminum foil, and I had a flat piece, and I slipped this into my punch, and I punched a couple of circles. And what that does is it helps to sharpen your punch, because sometimes your punch loses its edge as you continue to use it. I've only had this a year, but I've done a lot of punching with it, and I've taken it to a lot of workshops. Okay, so having done that, just going to get all my foil out of the way. I then took a very thin piece of my paper, and there, perfect. Look at that. My 2 inch punched. Okay, so having done that, now this was the mess that it created of my piece of vanilla. I'm just showing you that I did some test punches, and again, boom, it punched. Okay, so I did get a circle from it after I sharpened my punch. So now I'm going to do one more punch for you using a brand new piece of cardstock, just to show that it can't. Boom, look at that. So just a little teaching moment in the midst of our bag making. When you have a punch that just kind of locks up on you, that maybe the problem is that you need to sharpen it, and just take a piece of aluminum foil, fold it over, stick it in there, and kind of work it until it punches through, and that will help align the blades and sharpen it. Okay, so and well, maybe I don't think I'm stamping off on anything, so maybe I can use it like this. This has a rough edge because that was kind of one of my test punches, so I'm not going to use this one. This is the one that I just punched, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to take my block, and I'm using a D block, and I'm going to use Joy to the World out of my tin of tags. Put it on this block, and I'm going to get it nice and wet on my Versamark. I have to take off my glasses, and I'm going to go ahead and center this. Boom. Let me cover this. Let me clean up this. Set this right here. I'm going to take out my gold. And I usually use a coffee filter, but I'm not going to use a coffee filter today because I just want to do this kind of fast. And I do keep a little paintbrush in my little pan here. And you know what I forgot to do? Gosh darn it. I forgot to use my embossing buddy. But because I have this little brush in here, I can usually brush off those areas that got stuff on them. And then I do kind of a good breath will give you, kind of take off some of the other ones. So I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to go ahead and emboss this, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that I've got my pieces cut, I'm going to take my Joy to the World and some dimensionals right here, and I love my little tool, and I'm going to go ahead on the back of my Joy. I'm going to put some dimensionals. I usually put 3, kind of in a triangle shape, and I use my X-Acto knife to pull off my labels, only because my nails aren't as functional for that kind of thing. Okay. Whew. Boy. So, I thought I was going to have that stick right on, but thankfully it didn't. But now that it is going to stick on, I'm just going to center it in my black circle. There you go. And there's my Joy that's going to go in the front of my bag. So having done that, now I'm going to take my bag and I'm going to get ready to put it together. But before I put it together, there's a piece that I failed to do, and that is I'm going to put my dimensionals aside for now. I'm going to take my gift bag punch board, and I'm going to turn it around so that I see the reverse punch on this end. And everywhere that I have a score line, I'm going to punch it, and it's going to give me a couple of holes. So I'm going to do outside. I don't have to do the inside of my gusset, just the outside of my gusset. This little flap here, okay, this little flap here is going to be, I just want to punch one hole. So I'm going to line this edge up right here, and I'm talking about this edge right here with that score line. And we should have, yes we do, we have a bunch of holes, and they're all going to line up. And remember the trick that I taught you in the last video, that even if they don't line up, you can always take a little punch, hole punch, and make yourself another hole. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and fold our bag. I'll fold it this way. And I'm going to line up my edge, okay, which is going to be this edge here, but it's got this extra flap. So I'm going to take my scissors, And I'm going to cut this flap off right here. Okay, because I don't really need that. I'm going to take my score tape and I'm going to place that as close as I can to the edge. I got it over this hole here and I really shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to push through with my scissors. I'm going to clip it back. Okay, so there's my tear tape on the edge of my little flap. I'm going to get my X-Acto so I can pick up the edge. There we go. So now I'm going to do you know what I did? I put this on the wrong side. So it shouldn't go on this side, it should go on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little piece, I'm going to slip it back down on my tape, turn it around. I'm going to redo this. But there you go. Look how easy that mistake was made. Okay, so now that's on the edge. I'm going to line that up. Okay, I'm going to line it up with this edge here, ever so carefully. Let me see, I'm going to bend this a little bit better so I get it better. I basically just want to kiss this edge and meet it right about there. Okay. There we go. Okay. And there's my tape. You see my tape in there for my boo-boo? Okay. Now the trick that I showed you from the last video to make sure that you don't make more boo-boos. Since here's your gussets, you can fold them in and you can see if your holes line up. I don't have a hole lining up right there. Do you see that? So I have a solution, but I'm going to go ahead and let me pause and get my hole punch so I can show you how I'm going to fix that. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy little hole punch and I'm simply going to line it up with this hole here so I can punch through and make sure. Let's see, I'm going to put this on top so I can see where that needs to go. And it needs to go right there. There you go. So now I have a hole. Okay? That was very nice. Alright, so now that I have my holes and they're all lined up, I'm going to go ahead and start putting my tear tape on the bottom of the bag, making sure to not put it on one side. Put it on the flaps, making sure not to put it on one side because that's going to be the bottom. Okay. Now simply whip it off. One. 2, 3. There you go. There's my 3. Now I'm going to bend them inside. I'm going to put my little flaps first. And I'm going to put my big flap. I'm going to kind of hold my bag together. And I'm going to put my last flap, kind of holding my bag together to make sure it's kind of square. And I'm going to lay it down. Take my score tool here and simply go down and kind of get it cinched in there. And there we go. So this is the back of our bag because that's where we have our seam. So this is the front of our bag. Isn't that pretty? So now I'm going to take my Joy and look how that kind of lines up pretty right there. I could put it lower, I could put it higher. And I'm going to go ahead and just take a strip of tear tape and put it on the back of my tag. I could also use just simple snail, but I kind of want this to stick really well. So that's where I go the tear tape route. I'm just really happy with how this works. So, you know, we could leave it like this, and you could turn this into a tag and let it hang around on your bag. I prefer, however, to just put it on the bag like that, and then I'm going to put my ribbon through. And I'm going to take some of this brand new gold because I want to try this. I'm going to double it up. Okay. And I kind of twist it a little, and then I'm going to push it through that hole, easy breezy. I'm going to push it through the other hole, easy breezy. So I should have, and I can kind of play with this a little bit and make sure I have how much length I want here. And I can kind of pull the ends until I have enough length that I need to tie my bow. I'm going to go ahead and tie my bow. And there you go. I can snip this edge right here. And I can pull, and there you go. Oops, my block just fell. Isn't that nice? So I don't know which you prefer, if you prefer the gold baker's twine or this really neat Christmas twine, but here are two options for a really neat gift bag using the black that you may have from your Halloween projects. So while you're doing your Halloween projects, if you buy some black, think ahead. Hey, you can make some other projects for Christmas. Okay. So this is Kat Chancellor, Stamp Art Connection.